Smart glasses finally stop being a gimmick, and you no longer need $1,000 to get a good pair. In the past year, they've learned to translate conversations mid-sentence, float a 100-inch screen in front of your eyes, and answer questions about whatever you're looking at. The catch is the best ones range from under $100 to well past $1,000. So we ranked 25, sorted by budget and by who each one actually suits. Let's find yours. Jamming earbuds into both ears means missing the doorbell, the traffic, and the person actually talking to you. Lucid's Lyte solves that quietly. The frames look like ordinary acetate, no obvious tech tell, while open-ear speakers sit just above your ears, tuned well enough that you can take a call on a busy sidewalk without anyone hearing the other side. The companion app routes your voice commands through ChatGPT, so you get real answers instead of canned assistant replies. Most styles are prescription-ready too, which almost nothing else this cheap offers. Generally available for just under $100, it's the softest possible landing into smart eyewear. 145 languages. That's what this pair translates in real time, and it costs less than a decent pair of headphones. Get.D built these for travelers and students who want the useful half of smart glasses without the price of admission: ChatGPT, voice assistants, live translation, and open-ear audio in a frame that looks completely normal. Battery life is the surprise. 2 internal cells deliver roughly 11 hours of music, 9 hours of calls, and around 15 days on standby, with a 10-minute top-up buying you another hour. They're IP54 water-resistant as well. Often found for well under $100, they're the pair you hand a friend who says smart glasses aren't worth it, and watch them change their mind. Here's the one detail that makes these different from almost everything else on this list. There is no camera. None. That single decision unlocks rooms other smart glasses get you thrown out of. Boardrooms, hospitals, classrooms, secure facilities. Your colleagues see glasses, not a recording device. Built into a titanium frame, they auto-record meetings, transcribe them, and hand you a clean written summary before you've left the room, with roughly 7 days of recording per charge. Real-time translation and ChatGPT access come standard. For professionals who sit through meetings all day, landing in the low to mid 200 bracket, landing in the low to mid 200s, it's the most quietly useful pair here, and you'll leave every meeting lighter, knowing it caught what you missed. Buy these once and you may never need to buy smart glasses again. Solos pulled that off with Smart Hinge, a system that lets you pop the entire front frame off and swap it for a different shape, color, or lens without buying new electronics. Clear frames for the office, sunglasses for the weekend, same brain. ChatGPT routing handles questions and translation. A Temple touch sensor and virtual button manage playback and calls, and the open-ear speakers keep you aware of your surroundings. It's the most future-proof pick at this level, and typically sitting in the mid-200s, it's rare value. Because the part that dates fastest, the styling, is the only part you ever have to replace. If your house already answers to Alexa, this is the pair that follows her outside. Generally sitting somewhere in the mid to upper 300s, it's the rare pair that aims sound at your ears while cutting how much leaks to everyone else. And auto volume adjusts to whatever room you walk into. From your temples, you can check whether you locked the front door, kill the lights, or set the thermostat from anywhere. The frames themselves are handcrafted Italian acetate with German spring hinges, so they read as eyewear first. Most retailers list them right around the 300 mark, prescription compatible. For anyone already living in Alexa's world, this is the most natural upgrade on the entire list. The smartest money in smart glasses right now might be last year's model. Gen 1 gave the category its breakout moment, and everything that made it special is still here. The 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera for hands-free photos and video, open-ear speakers, and Meta AI answering questions about whatever's in front of you. Because Gen 2 exists, these now sit far below their launch price. You'll often see them near the low to mid 200s and lower during sales. The honest trade-off is battery life, which is noticeably shorter than the newer generation. For anyone curious about camera glasses but unwilling to gamble $400, this is where you get the whole experience for half the risk and that first hands-free photo still feels like magic. Prescription wearers usually get treated as an afterthought in this category. Rokid built its entire pitch around them. Style supports everything from mild correction all the way to plus or minus 15 diopters, myopia, astigmatism, presbyopia, progressives, through an online platform that turns custom lenses around in a week or so, with photochromic options that darken outdoors in about 25 seconds. The tech underneath is genuinely open, a 12-megapixel camera, a language barrier that simply stops existing, and access to multiple AI engines rather than one locked ecosystem, with gesture controls like nodding to answer a call. Starting near the $300 mark, it's the first pair that treats prescription wearers as the main audience rather than an afterthought. And if that's you, the relief is immediate. Picture a 6-hour flight with a laptop screen you can barely see and a seatback monitor from 2009. Now picture a 200-inch screen floating in front of you instead. That's the trade the Air 3's Pro makes, and it does with a brightness figure most rivals can't touch. 1200 nits delivered straight to your eye. The difference shows in dark scenes, where faint detail survives instead of collapsing into black, all running at a smooth 120 Hz. Plug into a phone, Steam Deck, Switch, or Mac over USB-C, and it just works. Usually available for roughly $300, it's the best value big screen you can wear. Step outside with most AR glasses and your screen simply vanishes. Not this one. The Z1 Pro pushes peak brightness up to 6,000 nits, a figure normally reserved for flagship AR, and pairs it with a real RGB 1080p, micro OLED panel, 98% DCI, P3 color, and a 200,000:1 contrast ratio across a 160-inch virtual screen. At 63 grams, it's among the lightest displays you can wear for a full film, helped by 4-level adjustable nose pads and a detachable frame that swaps for prescription or shade inserts. Dual stereo speakers mean no extra headphones. It typically lands between $400 and $500 depending on the deal. Brightness. This good at this price feels almost unfair in the best possible way. Every other pair on this list is a sealed box. Halo ships with its design files and code on GitHub, completely open source, which means developers can build on it and the feature set genuinely grows rather than freezing on release day. That openness sits inside a pair weighing just over 40 grams with an all-day battery under normal use. Instead of a camera, Halo uses a low-power optical sensor built for AI inference. It understands what you're looking at without recording it, which dodges the social friction cameras create. Dual bone conduction speakers keep audio private. Dual mics with activity detection catch your voice, so many people skip prescription lenses altogether. The honest trade-off is that the color display is monocular, one eye only, and the module is visible above the right lens. Generally sitting somewhere in the mid to upper 300s, it's the rare pair that keeps getting better long after you've bought it. The best display in the world is worthless if you take it off after 20 minutes. Max 2 wins on the boring stuff that actually matters, 75 grams, and it's shaped wide enough to fit faces up to 16 centimeters. A genuinely rare consideration in a category that often assumes one head size. The payoff is a 215-inch screen at a 50-degree spread and 600 nits, with swappable nose pads that let you dial in exactly where the image sits. HDCP support means protected streaming apps play properly rather than throwing an error, and it connects straight to phones, Steam Decks, and handhelds over a single cable. And commonly landing right around the $400 mark, it connects straight to phones, Steam Decks, and handhelds over a single cable. Comfort like this is what turns a gadget into something you genuinely use every day. Everything else on this list gives you a big screen. This one gives you a cinema, 500 inches of it, a figure that makes every rival number look modest. XREAL's own X1 chip handles the work on device, delivering native 3-degree of freedom tracking so the screen can anchor in place while you turn your head, plus real 3D across a 52-degree field of view. The refresh story is unusually well thought out, 120 Hz in 3DF mode and a 90 Hz global refresh that kills flicker and blur. You can switch between follow mode, anchored mode, ultra-wide 32,009 or 21,009, and side view for glancing at a second task, all for somewhere between $400 and $500. Nothing else this affordable makes a room disappear quite so completely. Nearsighted viewers usually pay extra for prescription inserts. VITURE just put a dial on the frame instead. Turn it and the picture sharpens. Around that sits electrochromic film, a layer in the lens that darkens on command so you're not fighting daylight to see your own screen. It's the feature that separates glasses you use everywhere from glasses you only use in a dark bedroom. Around that sits a 135-inch display at 120 Hz and 1000 nits. Harman-tuned audio that's genuinely better than most rivals, and built-in myopia adjustment dials, meaning nearsighted viewers can skip prescription inserts entirely and just turn a wheel. Priced somewhere between $400 and $500 and compatible with iPhones, Android, Mac, PC, and Steam Deck, it's the first pair here you can genuinely use in daylight. And that changes everything about how often you'll reach for it. 12 down, and every budget so far has had a real answer. From here, the money starts buying something special. Handheld gaming has one permanent enemy, the sun. Lenovo built these specifically to beat it. Designed to pair with the Legion Go and any full-function USB-C device, they turn a 6-inch handheld screen into a private full HD display running at 120 Hz. Fast enough that motion stays clean in shooters and racers where a slower panel smears. Because nobody else can see what you're playing, the privacy angle matters more than people expect on planes and in shared spaces, and the built-in audio keeps the whole setup cable light. For somewhere around the $400 mark, plug and play means no app, no pairing, no setup screen, just your game, enormous, private, and looking better than it ever has on a handheld. There's a reason these outsell everything else in the category. Meta's second generation is the pair most people should buy, and the upgrades all land where they matter. Video jumps to 3K Ultra HD, battery life roughly doubles, and the 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera captures your actual point of view rather than a phone held awkwardly at arm's length. A full charge runs up to 8 hours of moderate use, and the folding case adds another 48. Live translation now works back and forth across 6 languages and counting, which turns a foreign menu or a taxi conversation into something you just handle. 90% of wind and street noise gets stripped from calls. Typically available in the upper 300s, these are the pair you'll forget you're wearing right up until the moment they save you. Sunglasses have always failed athletes in one specific way. You either wear proper sports lenses or you wear tech, never both. HSTN ends that compromise by putting Meta's platform inside genuine Oakley optics, including prism and prism polarized lenses engineered to sharpen contrast in exactly the conditions that wreck normal sunglasses: harsh sun, wet asphalt, patchy shade. The 12-megapixel camera captures hands free from your eyeline, which is the only angle that makes sense mid-run or mid-round. 8 hours of typical use covers a full day outdoors, and the charging case tops that up by another 48. Audio sits just outside your ears, so your playlist runs without sealing you off from traffic or teammates. Priced around the $400 mark, it's the clear pick for anyone who spends real time outside. Leave your phone at home. Genuinely, every other display here needs one, and this doesn't. It runs Android 14 on its own processor with 8 GB of memory and 128 GB of storage, which means you can watch, browse, game, and work with your phone left at home entirely. The display is a genuine first 1080p full-color RGB waveguide with expanded exit pupil technology, throwing a 150-inch screen at 600 nits across a 36-degree field of view. Sharp even under direct sun, and private because waveguide optics don't leak the image outward. A 120-degree ultra-wide camera handles capture. The honest caveat is weight. At over 100 grams, these are the heaviest here. Priced in the 4-figure bracket, they're the closest thing to a wearable computer. Video hides a soft display. A spreadsheet exposes it instantly, and this is the pair that survives that test, pushing a 152-inch virtual screen at 1200p through what VITURE calls its optical secret sauce, producing clarity the company rates as sharper than its own award-winning Pro model. In practice, That means you can genuinely work, documents, code, and browser tabs stay crisp edge to edge rather than turning into a blurry cinema screen. The 52-degree field of view gives you room for multiple windows, electrochromic dimming handles, bright rooms, and Harman audio covers sound without headphones. Myopia adjustment is built in, so glasses wearers aren't stuck buying inserts. It comfortably fits within the $500 bracket, and the first time you finish a full day's work on a train, you'll wonder how you ever managed without it. Athletes want data and footage, and until now, that meant a watch on one wrist and a camera strapped somewhere uncomfortable. Vanguard folds both into a wraparound frame. The camera sits dead center in your line of sight, a 122-degree ultra-wide lens shooting 3K Ultra HD, plus slow motion and hyperlapse for the moments worth replaying. 9 hours of battery covers long training days, with another 36 from the case. The genuinely clever part is the Garmin integration. Pair a compatible device and Meta AI reads out live and historic performance metrics mid-workout, so you stay in the zone instead of stopping to check a screen. Prism lenses handle glare on the road or the water. Sitting comfortably in the $500 tier, this is the most complete pair for serious training. This is where wearable displays stop being a novelty and start replacing actual hardware. The One Pro runs XREAL's custom X1 spatial computing chip, which handles tracking on the glasses themselves rather than leaning on your phone. That's what makes native 3-degree of freedom possible, letting a virtual monitor stay pinned in space while you turn your head to look at your keyboard. The new X Prism optics stress the field of view to 57 degrees, the widest here, throwing a 171-inch Full HD screen at 120 Hz with real 3D support. For anyone who works from cafes, trains, or hotel rooms, this is a genuine 3-monitor setup that fits in a jacket pocket, and it plugs into iPhones, Steam Decks, ROG handhelds, Macs, and PCs without an adapter. Generally landing in the $600 to $700 range, it's the most capable pure display and the one most likely to change how you work. Five left. Whatever your budget, there's a pair here for you, but these last 5 are the ones people don't believe are real. Some products change what a day feels like. Captify was built by a hard-of-hearing founder for the deaf and hard-of-hearing community, and it does one thing extraordinarily well. It puts real-time transcriptions of the conversation directly in your lenses, so you can follow a noisy dinner table, a meeting, or a theater performance without reading a phone screen. Directional microphones focus on the person in front of you rather than the whole room, and the transcription is sharp enough to catch doorbells and drawers closing, not just speech. Translation across several common languages comes built in. It weighs 37 grams, as light and natural as ordinary eyeglasses, and works with single vision, reading, and progressive prescriptions. Usually found just under the 700 mark, and one of the few products here that genuinely gives something back. Take a close look, and you'd never guess these are smart glasses at all. No camera, no speakers, no visible module, just titanium temples and magnesium frames built to the standards aircraft designers insist on. That restraint is the whole point. The G2's micro LED display is 75% larger than the previous generation, with crisp, wobble-free text, edge to edge, crystal clear to you, and completely invisible to everyone around you. Notifications arrive quietly, real-time translation appears in your line of sight, and a teleprompter function scrolls your script while you keep eye contact with an audience. Its contextual AI, Conversat, follows what's being said and suggests useful prompts without anyone noticing. Because there's no camera, you can wear these anywhere. Cameras are banned. Typically available in the high 500s with an optional smart ring for silent control. This is the thinking person's pair. Most AI glasses lock you into one assistant. Rokid was first to ship a pair powered by both GPT and Gemini, and once you've used 2 engines, you notice how limiting one feels. Different models are better at different things, and here you simply pick. All of that sits in a 49-gram frame, which is genuinely astonishing for something carrying a dual-eye micro LED display, a 12-megapixel Sony sensor, and an all-day battery. That camera is the first with integrated low-light HDR, so restaurants and night streets produce usable photos instead of noise. Translation covers 89 languages online and 6 offline, with two-way conversation latency under a second and every word appearing in your field of view. Prescription support is built in, usually falling near the 700 mark. Nothing else manages to be this capable and this light at the same time. You simply forget you're wearing it. 6,000 nits of peak brightness. That number sounds absurd until you're standing in full sunlight reading directions off your own lenses without shielding them. RayNeo etched dual micro LED waveguides directly into the glass, so information floats over the real world as a simulated 43-inch 3D screen rather than blocking it, and because it's a waveguide, the frame's still read as ordinary sunglasses. A Snapdragon AR1 chip runs an Android-based system with Google Gemini. Live always available to answer questions about whatever you're looking at, translate speech and text across 14 languages, or walk you through turn-by-turn navigation drawn onto the street ahead. TikTok, WhatsApp, and a teleprompter run natively. A 12-megapixel Sony sensor handles capture. Be aware the battery drains fast under continuous recording, and the case doesn't recharge. Sitting in four-figure territory, this is the most advanced AR you can wear today. The reason this takes the top spot isn't the display, it's the wristband. Every pair sits alongside the Meta Neural Band, an EMG wearable that reads the electrical signals your muscles make, so you scroll, select, and shoot with hand movements so subtle nobody notices. No voice commands in a quiet carriage, no tapping your temple in a meeting. It's the first product to combine microphones, speakers, a camera, and a full-color high-resolution in-lens display with real compute and AI in a single frame you'd actually wear, one that's there when you want it and gone when you don't. Live captions transcribe conversations in noisy rooms, translation appears as you talk, and a 12-megapixel camera with 3x zoom gets a real viewfinder in your lens. Note that Meta requires an in-person demo to buy, and stock is limited. But at around $800, this is the future arriving early. 25 pairs, from under $100 to the edge of what's possible. And one of them fits you perfectly. Tell me below which pair you'd actually wear, like if you found yours, and subscribe. Here's to seeing the world a little smarter.